In this example, we will begin with a previously calibrated data set and add new developments representing some type of master plan scenario or redevelopment. As we can see, the study area has more than 5,000 spaces of parking surplus and 30 spaces of latent demand. A closer look visually shows us that the latent demand deficiencies are located throughout the study area, with several clustered in the southern end of the community. The first step in defining a master plan projection scenario is to copy the previously calibrated scenario and renaming the file with new appropriate nomenclature. Now that we have our new scenario, let's focus on adding the new development into the modeled area. We will zoom into the area of the new development and then begin an editing session in ArcGIS to understand the new developments to the land use shapefile. First, let's geolocate our new development by placing a point, which represents land uses in this model, at the location of our proposed new uses. Once we have added the location, we can define the Park Plus input fields, including type of use and size of development. We will add parking generation characteristics once we have assembled all of the land uses. We will repeat the process for each of the uses in the proposed development, including restaurant uses and apartments. A reselection and quick review of our data shows that all three proposed uses have been entered and accounted for in the new development. Next, we will add adjusted rates based on similar land uses within the model. First, we define the office land use based on similar development in proximity of the proposed new land use. For each hour of analysis in the model, we will input a parking generation rate similar to the other office use. This approach removes the national industry average approach and creates a more unique and localized approach to measuring demands. Finally, we give our development a new name to distinguish it from the other office uses. We follow the same process for our restaurant. We found a similar restaurant that primarily serves office uses and applied the parking generation characteristics to predict how our new restaurant would operate. Finally, we apply parking generation characteristics to our apartment uses. Following completion of the master plan development inputs, we will save our edits and end the ArcGIS editing process. Now that everything is set, we are ready to run our new master plan projection. We did not add any new parking, so we won't need to adjust any of the parking variables. Our intent is to determine what the parking demand issues will be with the introduction of the new development. We click Run to begin the projection process. After the projection process is complete, the results are displayed in the Park Plus interface. Demand is up, surplus is down, and the latent demand has increased slightly. This is not surprising considering we added new development without new parking. We can close the interface to see the distribution of the parking demands. We can also investigate the latent demand layer to see how the latent demand is distributed between land uses. After a quick review, we can see that none of the latent demand is attributed to our new development, meaning that the development has available adjacent parking but causes ripple effect problems around it. To better understand how our development is operating, we can take a closer look at the development area and its parking demands. First, we will zoom in on the area, then do a smaller selection area within the Park Plus interface. The results of the smaller selection area show that our block has a 611 space deficit, but the deficit is offset by 640 adjacent parking spaces in the surrounding blocks. While the development works without parking, it will be up to community planners and parking professionals to determine the validity of sharing parking supply within the adjacent walking areas.